Hello, my name is Allison Adamiec, and I am your student's Algebra 1 teacher. This is our back to school night presentation for 2020-2021. So let's go ahead and get started. In Algebra 1, your student actually has two teachers. I co-teach with Mrs. Gretchen Perez. So you kind of get two teachers for the price of one. So that's two teachers to answer questions, to work with students in class. So we can divide up the class into small groups so that we can work kind of more one-on-one with our students. I am a math teacher and Mrs. Perez is a special education math teacher. So we're both here to support students. So you'll probably hear from both of us when you get emails. So be on the lookout for Mrs. Adamiec and Mrs. Perez as we reach out to you to help support your students. For Algebra 1, the materials that we need are a spiral notebook to take notes. I feel like kids are pretty good about this. They can use loose leaf paper. We just like spirals because it holds everything together. They need a pencil or a pen, whichever they prefer. We would like kids to do math and pencil just because we all make mistakes, but pens work as well. They do need a scientific calculator, which most of them probably have these yellow calculators or something very similar from middle school. So there's no need to go out and buy a new one. But if you don't have a calculator like this, they are going to want one. It does not need to be the graphing calculator. If you have any questions about that, you can just email myself or Mrs. Perez. The students also need an Algebra 1 workbook. These are located at East. Most students said that they did pick them up already. If you have not picked up the student workbook, you just have to go to the main entrance of East, tell them your name, and they will come and bring you your student workbook. And then lastly, students will need a Chromebook or other personal device, as they do with remote learning. So that's kind of a given, but making sure it's charged and everything like that. The students have been really good about logging into class. So we're just kind of excited to continue learning together. For our class, we do use Schoology. So here's kind of an overview. We do have our Zoom link for class up at the top. Also my office hours link. But every week we have a folder. Every week there's a weekly calendar. In that weekly calendar, students are able to see the topic for each day of the week, what kind of schedule we're running for that day, and then also what the homework is for that night. Also, for every day that we have class, because we don't see students every single day, we do have a daily agenda. So let me show you what that looks like. So our agenda, it tells students kind of what we went over in class. There's also links if we did an activity, so students can go back to that activity if they missed class or they didn't finish the activity. And then also there's helpful videos of the topics, and those videos are created by myself. So the students are actually hearing me talk, going over problems that we have gone over in class. So it's kind of a nice refresher for them. Also, in our daily agenda, we do post the homework. Our homework is on ALEX, which is our new math program. It is usually between 5 and 10 problems. It is assigned on Tuesday of each week, and then it's also due the following Monday at midnight. So students usually have about a week in order to work on the assignment. We do know that students have a lot going on right now, so we think giving them a week allows them to ask questions in class, but also to come see us during office hours. So it kind of gives them plenty of time as well as a weekend, because we do know that they live very busy lives. And also it's just consistently, you get your assignment on Tuesday, it's always due Monday. So hopefully we'll fall into that routine, help them build some time management skills. For math help, both myself and Mrs. Perez have office hours. They are on even and odd days from 7:20 to 8:15. The students are able to go to either one of us. We just ask that they email us so that we can find a good time for them to come into those office hours, because we do teach other classes. I teach Algebra 2 as well, so I don't want them in there with some Algebra 2 students where they might get confused about the topic. So we do ask that they email us if they're going to come to office hours so we can find a good time for them to kind of work one-on-one with us. Also, we are available after school. Again, we just ask the students to email us, let us know so that we can make time for them. My off periods are 2nd, 5th, and 6th. I'm a little bit more flexible during the day than Mrs. Perez is. So if you're going to come to office hours during the day, you're probably going to want to come see me. We also do have a math resource room, and that's kind of in place of if none of these times work, students can't come in the morning or after school or during my off periods or Mrs. Perez's off periods. We do have a math resource room where students can work with a certified math teacher on homework questions that they have if they're struggling with any topics. So if none of the other stuff works, I can send them a link for the math resource room. The math resource room runs periods 4 through 7. So if they have 4th or 7th lunch, that doesn't match up with my schedule or Mrs. Perez's schedule, then they can go to the math resource room. And finally, as a last resort, we do have our YouTube video playlist, which goes over every topic that we talk about in class. These are great refreshers if they're just looking for a quick overview of the topic. But again, if students are really struggling, we would like them to work kind of one-on-one with us so that we can help them figure out where they're struggling, fix some of the problems, and be able to kind of have that communication, because I think that's kind of more important than just sitting and watching a video. The way we will support your student is doing weekly check-ins for missing assignments. You might have already gotten an email from me or from Mrs. Perez. You'll be included on that email. I think the biggest takeaway that we got from the spring was that students kind of fell behind on homework assignments or what their assignments were. So we think doing weekly check-ins helps keep the kids accountable, but also makes them not fall so deep into the hole that they can't kind of dig themselves out. So we want to make sure that we're staying on top of our homework assignments. We also do check-ins during class. That's kind of the nice part about having 2 teachers is we can kind of divide and conquer and make sure that all the students are getting the support that they need. If your student misses class, we can always set up a meeting in order to make sure that they are taught the topic that they missed and that they're understanding the new material. I usually try and send out an email saying, hey, this is what we did in class, so students are aware. We're going to step in as soon as we see something. I think that's kind of the best part about having 2 teachers is we have an open line of communication where we can talk with one another and say, hey, such and such student, we think we need to step in. We'll meet with them at office hours. We'll contact you. But as always, if you are concerned, just email us. Again, we probably already have the same concerns, but this is going to be a partnership in order to make this remote learning work for our students and for you guys, and we're all kind of in this together. So I think the more we can work together, the better success we're going to find for our students. So the way that you can contact us, both of our emails are right there. Mine's allison.adamiec@d303.org. Mrs. Perez's is gretchen.perez@d303.org. Our phone numbers are right there for you as well. For phone calls, we will probably email you back or email you to set up a good time to call back. I know school hours and business hours don't necessarily match up. So if we can find a time that we can talk where the time works for both of us, that's going to be easier than, kind of playing phone tag with each other because we're not sure when the best time to call is. So if you do give us a call, tell us when a good time to call you back would be, and we'll try and see if that works with us. And if not, we'll email you to set up that time frame. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. I know you're probably watching a ton of them. If you ever have any questions about our class, about myself or Mrs. Perez, just please email us. Again, the better our partnership with you guys and our students, the better success our students are going to see. And we really look forward to making this remote learning a success for your students. Thank you again.